Welcome to Movies of Virginia, now presenting Knives Out, starting Ana de Armas, Chris Evans, Daniel Craig.
I love this movie because it has so much rewatchability. Like so many scenes, so many like even the subtitles. They have so many like little details in there that if you pay attention after you watched it once, you're like, oh my god, they fucking put it from the beginning. And like a lot of like symbolism in the cinematography. If you notice, you remember that one painting of Harlem that they kept on showing multiple times?
Yeah.
In the beginning, you know how it's a like very serious picture of Harlem, but if you go back to the very end after the crime is solved, you see it's replaced with a picture of him smiling. Yeah. So there's a lot of like little details like that are amazing. I love this movie.
That's the first time I had really noticed like the right there at that ending, because after watching this whole movie several times, like you just can't help but like love the wrap up at the end. And
It's really good.
and that's the first time I noticed that they changed the subtitles on it.
Yeah.
Because when it happens, they have actually Hugh to not like give anything away, but at the end they changed it to Hugh.
Yeah, they do that in other scenes as well. And if you notice, when you see the ring behind me, the ring of knives, anytime they're interviewing anybody, if they're not related to the crime, they're off-centered from the thing. But when they interviewed Ransom and Martha, they were right in the center because they had something to do with the crime. And it's pretty good. I like that stuff. And it also foreshadows with a lot of stuff. Like he doesn't know the difference between a real knife and a stage prop. There's things like that.
I do like the terms when they make him seem like a very incompetent detective, with her even say, "You're not a very good detective," and then at the end he's like, he reveals he knew it the entire time. And then you go back and you think about when he's like the rainbow projectile, and he's like, "I like to know the truth," and just kind of let it fall onto my lap, which he basically did. He didn't really do any like major effort. He just kind of
just followed the clues. I really enjoyed this movie. This one, it's a 9 out of 10 for me. He's good.
So I was able to watch a lot of the movie because my internet connection kept dying, but I already watched this movie before, and I really liked it the first time, and I really like it still. I only got to see the ending, I think, of the movie, essentially. I didn't get the cool, like, everybody's doing the little talks. But I remember when I was watching it, like, I was able to figure it out the first time. I didn't remember anything about the movie when I was trying to rewatch it, but I kept cutting in and out of the fucking thing. But I really like this movie. I really recommend it to people. I mean, I recommended it a lot to people whenever it came out. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 or something. I mean, to me, the only thing that it doesn't have is like, it's not a bloody movie, so it doesn't have actual people shooting each other and stuff like that. It's a detective movie, so
yeah. Like I would say, if they added bloody fighting, it would probably drop in my book.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same type of movie because it's like watching Clue live.
Yeah, it's a whodunit, right? It's the entire genre of whodunit movies. Like you have the original Clue, you have all those similar to like the noir detective movies where you're trying to figure out the clues as it goes through, and then it put a little twist, and then another twist, and I'm just like, oh my god, my little brain can't handle this. It's just had so much rewatchability.
Yeah, but I really like it though. I really recommend it to people. That's why when you were like, "Let's watch it," I'm like, "I'm done. I already watched it, but I'm done to watch this. This is good."
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
What? I had finished my thing. I said I was like an 8 out of 10.
No, I'm saying next for the two other participants.
Well, so I hadn't seen this movie before. I know Nick recommended it, and a bunch of other people had recommended it. It was really good. I think I noticed some things at the beginning, like that the fact the robe, like he was coming down with a hat. I'm like, that looks really weird. Like even like the size of the body and like the fact that he was hunched over looks really weird.
Yeah.
And then I knew that she had done something wrong whenever she dropped the vials. I'm like, oh, that's something bad.
Yeah, because it puts
Um,
emphasis on that because it zooms in.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
movie. Like
exactly.
it puts emphasis on things that just made it a lot easier since the beginning.
Yeah, but you don't know
Yeah.
exactly like what makes it wrong. You just know,
They-
hey, this plays a part.
They
Yeah.
also do a lot of misdirection where like they like focus you a little too much where you're like you're over here, but you know there's a little bit more going on behind the scenes that you really
Mhm.
don't see.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
in that scene where she like accidentally swaps the morphine and whatever the other thing was accidentally, and like that happens 5 minutes prior to what the actual issue is. So you see it, but if you're not like paying attention to it, you're like, yeah, it's just a shot, right? And then it goes through the knife that he uses to kill himself, which you already know. So you're like, oh, you're focusing on the knife, which it tries to misdirect you while still giving you the clues.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you know they reveal that the swap at the first time around, right?
Yeah, because
'Cause
she
when
grabs
she-
it and
when
then
he
shakes
does-
it. And then...
Yeah, because when he does that test at the end with the labels, she hesitates picking one out, but she does the same thing the first time around when she grabs it.
Yeah,
She
and
doesn't
those
just
are
be like,
and that's why I like it because if you're rewatching this and you already know, you're like, oh, I didn't notice this scene the first time.
Mhm.
Unless you don't remember a lot of things.
Then you forget those details and you're just like, well, okay.
Yeah.
But then the internet drops, so then.
So what do you think overall, Ricky? What would you rate it?
It was really good. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. I thought the acting was good. I thought it was really funny. Like a lot of the scenes were
Yeah.
funny. Daniel Craig with the accent, like just the sayings that he would do, like were really good.
I've come to
Uh,
realize this is a donut-shaped hole in the middle, filled by a smaller donut, which itself has a hole in the middle.
I mean, because I've only ever really seen him as 007, as James Bond. So like going from a very serious suave character to like a detective with a funny accent is like very different.
Yeah, I think the characters in this are really good. Everybody's like distinct and has like some personality traits that they have. So the whole cast is pretty interesting to have working together.
They had a lot of like good actors, like well-known actors anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that helped a lot, and I don't know. Overall, it's a very good movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
And it's also very current. Like it has references to other movies like Baby Driver, which happened like a year before this movie, and
Yeah, I was like,
other
okay.
topics. Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
super like pop culture as
Yeah. Andy, I don't know if you
Person
want to add
left.
anything.
I'm looking
mean,
down
I
at the
don't
one
You
give-
want
person
to
left.
talk,
I mean-
or you know?
I mean, I'm gonna give like just like a little bit because I've been kind of talking throughout, but yeah, I mean, it was a great movie and it definitely has a rewatchability. I myself have watched it several times over, and every time you'll still like find the little things. Like this is the first time I watch it with subtitles, so it's like I didn't ever catch that like subtitle change from the U to Hugh. Also, I
With
do
double
like
O's.
that this. I do like that this is Daniel Craig's like main like breakout role coming out of 007, because I think it was a little bit before this that he mentions he's gonna stop doing 007, which was very well done, and he was able to break his like I guess his typecast like very easily, and and he still has one more James Bond to go, but I mean, no, he's not stuck in that role anymore. So
I didn't say
I mean,
he's
this
not
is
released.
pretty much like 007. I mean,
It's similar, but with the more like parody aspect of it, more detective than the spy action.
kind of,
But I
kind of,
think
yeah.
I think like you said, Daniel Craig did say that he wanted to do other stuff, and it shows that he has a wide range because like you can't go from serious
Yeah,
double
'cause
double
this-
agent to a Kentucky Fried Chicken detective.
Yeah,
right?
because James Bond characters have always been like not super serious, but always playing like the suave cool guy. But Daniel took the suave cool guy, and then like every next James Bond is just like more and more serious, and it's like, yo, this is really dark. I mean, the movies are still good, but it's a very dark character. and all of a sudden he goes to this role, and like this role is like half comedic. So it's like, so you can do it. You just, haven't been given the chance, or you just hadn't gone for that yet.
He definitely has a wide range, and I would like to see him in more movies. Like if there was a Knives Out sequel, and he just
There
comes
is.
out with like a, instead of like a Kentucky accent, he's like an Irish accent. I'd be like, I'm all for it. I wouldn't even question it.
I thought we had, I think I talked to Nick about this when he stayed with me. As of February 6th, 2020, Knives Out 2 has been officially greenlit by Lionsgate.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hmm.
I would if it keeps up the quality in this and like the originality of it, I'm definitely in.
I feel like it's kind of hard to keep up the originality and like murder mysteries.
They can.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to bring back 007. I think the way that they pulled this off, that it's just like a very elaborate, murder mystery. They could very well just use they'll probably still have Daniel Craig, but they can have like a totally different cast and then just reference this movie. It doesn't have to be like a direct sequel, just kind of like, hey, this is the next exciting episode of, Knives Out.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by like keeping the originality. It doesn't have to like
The Nazi
be a
kid
direct
died.
sequel. The Nazi kid. It did have a lot of
Yeah.
political stuff from both sides, so little jabs at both of them, and
Yeah.
I also like that as well.
I do like it. It had no like direct bias. It was very unbiased. It's like we don't make fun of any one people. We make fun of everybody.
Yeah, and everybody treated her badly, hence by she's from Uruguay, Ecuador, Brazil.
I was like confused. I'm like, dude, like, I thought for a second, I was like, are they like messing with me and like changing it every single time, or am I just not paying attention to the movie and like missing it?
Yeah, and it's traits like that shows you like even without like getting clues, if they didn't put like the explicit scenes of like him when he's talking about your immigrants came legally, right? Even though they didn't, they were like, and he hands her the plate to grab it off of her so she could take it away. Like even if they didn't include those, you could still see from their character traits that they're like they think they're above her because of how they
easily
talk about it.
even
From
even
both
like
sides.
even like her friend Meg is like a really quick to go.
Anna.
She's
Anyway.
done with her 13 reasons.
She like totally like sold her out like the moment it was convenient for her.
Mhm.
When she realized she needed him for the money to pay for school.
Yeah.
Because
And
it seems like she doesn't realize that until the lady's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the best though is how she gives her answer with on the balcony, just with the "My house, my rules" mug.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
At the end.
that like drives the point home. It was very, very clever.
And it's also the first scene you see when you open the movie.
Yeah.
So it ties it all the way.
Also, as soon as like that letter was blank for Richard, or what's his name? I think his name was Richard, the husband that cheating on the wife.
Yeah.
I
don't
did,
remember his name.
as soon as I saw that blank letter, I'm like, is this National Treasure? Like, is he gonna get like lives or something?
Yeah, and then halfway through the movie, they show that she has a bunch of all these exact same letters, so she would know what to do if she saw this letter, but nobody else
Yeah.
would because they played games. And it's just little details like that I feel like a lot of modern, not so much modern movies, but a lot of average movies don't include. They tell you a lot of things without actually showing you. There's too much exposition in a lot of movies, where this one just like, hey, here's a detail. If you can piece it together at the end when we show you, that's
Yeah.
nice. And that enhances
didn't-
the experience.
They-
It makes
they
I
sense.
didn't put that together.
They had an easy mode too, because they were very like they did a very good job at like closing all the loose ends
Mhm.
and kind of explaining everything. So even if you weren't watching like super closely, or like you're kind of like those people that kind of don't quite fit in the weird jigsaw corners into the puzzle, they like at the end they're like, here's the answer sheet, so you
Yeah,
Just in
it's
case.
it's definitely a movie that doesn't alienate anybody, because if you want to think critically about it from the beginning, you can, and you can start solving everything as you get the clues, same as LeBlanc. And if you don't, you can just watch it and then you're like, oh, this all makes sense without having to like critically think because you have everything.
All right, so this is gonna be like a little bit of a change, especially just because of this type of movie. And Ricky can choose not to answer it since he's only watched it once. Izzy, at one point in the movie, do you think is the earliest point of the movie that you can figure out who really done it?
It's the first time you've seen it?
No. I'm saying Ricky's first time seeing it, but you like. At what's the earliest point of the movie that it kind of like, if you're watching carefully, you can already figure out the ending?
After she's explained. After the first time she explains to the detectives, or the first time she's getting questioned by the detectives. When she plays everything that happened in your mind, you can piece everything together.
So basically, after he's questioned everybody the first time around.
Yeah, because you already know that Graham has seen Ransom again. Because whenever she comes back from it, you know that she says that. So if you have all the clues ahead of time, you can figure it out. But if it's your first time viewing, I don't think that's a good one.
Well, I agree with that. Nick?
I wasn't able to really watch most of the movie.
With this internet
So I feel like I can't really tell you much.
Okay, Nick, you can rewatch the movie again later and record yourself just
Yes.
analyzing it, and we'll add it in post. Ricky.
The real question, Andy, is what does it say on your shirt?
Yeah, I've been trying to read that.
Buy a Mac and get Beats.
What does it say under? Does it
does
have
that
anything?
They're like headphones.
Like the Beat headphones? Was there a promotion?
Yeah. When I
Not a
worked
sponsor?
when I worked at the
Whoa!
I wish.
Apple sponsorship? Thank you.
I wish. No, when I worked at the Apple store on campus, like back in the day, we had a promotion where like if you bought an Apple computer, you got a pair of Beats for free.
1964.
Excuse me, that's George Orwell's 1964.
No, it was more like 2015, but okay.
I remember that.
Yeah, watching this movie makes me want to like play like a Among Us, like a Clue.
A whodunit.
Yeah, who done it? Something you gotta like think about the mystery.
Mhm.
One of those social deception games. Really gets you in the mood. I think it does that part well. It does the theme, the atmosphere, the characteristics of the entire place. Like the man was saying, this whole house is basically a clue board, and it all fits, and it makes you feel like I'm fucking Sherlock Holmes over here. You can't see my arm, but I'm pointing to Nick. Sherlock Holmes over here with making you want to like solve these mysteries.
Mhm.
All right. Alrighty. So I think that at this point we can go ahead and bring this to a close. Because honestly, I feel like we can actually talk about this all day, and we tend to go on tangents if we talk long enough. So
Whoa. People love our tangents.
I love our tangents. The people love us.
So the
Exactly.
usual, if you can go ahead, like, subscribe if you haven't seen it.
Wait, in every trip. Oh, you can't see my arm. There we go.
If you haven't yet seen it,
No,
get
Nick,
God,
Nick,
Nick, get that out. I'm
Nick.
putting your screen up.
Nick,
Showing
Nick,
Ricky.
we're gonna get demonetized. If
I'm not
you
gonna
haven't seen it, there should be a link down below to this week's Super Sans games to reveal Ricky's majestic victory.
It was quite amazing.
So, but if you're just in it for the reviews, that's okay. Watch it anyway. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.